class yet, you need to, like on your home page for your Google Classroom, there's a link where you can like, I think maybe it's a plus and you can join a class, and then you will type in that code right there, and that's a 0KQ1BOD. And then you type in that code and then it'll add you to the classroom. So who do we have on here? So Jacob and Allison are both in it, Nick and Kaylee. Devlin isn't in here yet. So Devlin needs to add it. Who else? Okay, there's Devlin. Is there anybody else? Hannah. Hannah needs to add. Is Hannah still online?
No. Not that I see.
Okie dokie. So I guess we will get going. So in your classroom, if you go to your screen, here's the first practice test. The last time we started working these problems.
I can't do anything now.
It's a full practice test. It has English, science, it has everything, but we're only working on the math right now. Okay. So I can't remember how far we got last time. We were kind of skipping around. We didn't work all of the problems. But this was your assignment to have complete and turned in, right? I think it's already due. Did you guys get it turned in?
I did.
You did? Okay, we need to.
You have to mute
Okay,
your
you need to
computer.
turn it in. Okay. And remember, I want to see your work, or you explain your thought process. If you just took a guess, tell me why you chose that answer. Okay, we're not going to randomly guess. There has to be good reasons. Okay.
My guess was just that I said a certain thing that I guessed for all of them.
Okay, well, whatever.
Should I take
At least
that
there's
in?
a reason. Yeah. Okay, so I'll let you guys who are here take a look and tell me when you see one that you want to work, and hopefully I still remember because it's been a while since I've taken the ACT. I think we were past this page. I don't know.
Do you have that?
Yeah, I'm not going
So she can
Anybody online see one you want worked?
Hey Abby, I'm gonna get you set up on her computer, that way you can look.
Let's do 29, in case some of you haven't seen complex numbers or you don't remember. So it's wanting the product.
Yeah, by the way, my graphing calculator does I.
Does it?
Yes.
Okay, do you want to tell us how to do it on the graphing calculator?
What'd you say it does?
It does I.
Oh.
Like the imaginary number.
Where is, okay, there's
So if you
I. Okay,
hit
so,
the second button,
okay, yeah.
and for me it's the decimal, it'll give you I.
So is that an ACT approved calculator? Like, is
Yes.
that one you could use? Okay, awesome.
3i plus 4 times negative 3i plus 4. Let's see.
Like 5i squared is negative 5.
Do you need your calculator?
Is that one mine?
Yeah, I have yours, Gretchen.
Okay.
Okay.
Here, you can use this one.
So she said she does need
Okay,
one. I
I'll
wasn't sure.
order one for you right now.
Ooh, okay. And on the calculator, I get 25. So, yeah, so if you have your graphing calculator, you would just type in this problem as it is, open parentheses, negative 3i. And the I button is at the very bottom. There's like the decimal point. So it's like 0, decimal point, and the negative symbol. So you'll press the blue second button and the decimal, and that gives you I. And so you can type it in just how it shows here, and you get 25. That will be the quickest way, but I'll show you how to do it by hand just in case.
This is like my
I
school
squared
calculator.
is negative 1.
There you go, I
I
squared.
cubed is negative
Okay,
I.
okay, let's stay on task here, okay? All right, so remember whenever you're multiplying binomials, okay, so binomials, we're gonna do the FOIL method. So we start here, so negative 3 times 3 is negative 9. I times I, what you need to know about that, I squared is negative 1. So this actually becomes negative 9 times negative 1, which is positive 9, okay? And here, whoops, that meant to go to the 4, not plus. So negative 3i times 4 is negative 12i. Here we get positive 12i, so those cancel out because they're opposites. And then at the end, 4 times 4 is 16, so 9 plus 16 is 25. Okay. All right, what else? Anyone? Do we want to look at any geometry, or you good with that? Anyone? Anyone online?
Bueller.
Let's look at
30.
30. Okay. All right. Radius of the base of the right circular cone shown below is 5 inches. The height is 7. Solving which of the following equations gives the measure theta. So we're looking for this angle. So we're going to do an inverse. Well, oh no, we actually don't have to get the angle. We don't go that far. Okay. So we're looking for the angle. Okay. So from this angle here, we have the opposite side and the adjacent side. Okay. Remember, the hypotenuse is always the longest side that is opposite of your right angle. So we have opposite and adjacent. So what is opposite over adjacent? Anyone remember your SOHCAHTOA, or don't tell your parents, but one way is some old hippie caught another hippie on acid.
What?
It's awful, but you will remember it, I guarantee you. So we have opposite and adjacent, so that's the tripping on acid. So that's a T, that's tangent. So the tangent of our angle theta is 7 over 5.
Okay, here we go. If there's one thing that we've never seen before, that's
Great way to remember.
Yeah, it's a lot better than SOHCAHTOA.
Yeah.
Okay. So tangent, opposite over adjacent. So 7 over 5.
God, why didn't we get that on video?
We did.
So,
Oh, we did.
in your calculator, if you were asked to find the actual measure of the angle, you would do an inverse tangent. So it's going to look like tangent to the -1. So up above the tangent button in blue is tangent to the -1 power. So you could do second tangent 7 divided by 5 in parentheses, and we find out. No, just kidding. What's wrong? Are we in? That's not right. I might be in the wrong mode. Where are we? Yeah, I'm in radians. Make sure your calculator is in degrees. So you go to mode. The mode button is in the upper left corner. Hit mode. And the fourth line, there's radians and degrees. You want to make sure you're in degrees. Okay. Now let me try that again. Inverse tangent of 7 over 5. And we get an angle of 54.5 degrees if I round. Okay. So we didn't have to do that there, but you do need to know how to do that. If you're in Algebra 2 or pre-calc, you'll probably deal with some of that. Maybe some in geometry. Okay, what else? We want to do
I need to
27.
change
This is work with
mine.
the special right triangles. You need to have your special
Your
right
piece.
triangles memorized. So that's from geometry. So if you've already had that, you probably,
And it's a
I've already
little email
forgotten.
subversion.
but here we have a hypotenuse of 8 root 2. So anytime you have a hypotenuse that is root 2 times something, then it's a 45-45 right triangle, okay? Well, and it tells, it's an isosceles, but if your hypotenuse here, this one right here, is 8 root 2, then both of these sides are 8, because the hypotenuse of a 45-45 triangle is always root 2 times a leg. So you just have to have that memorized, okay? So now if we're looking for the perimeter, we just add it up. So we can't add that 8 root 2 to these because it's kind of like not being like terms. So 8 and 8 is 16. So it's going to be 16 plus 8 root 2, so E. But your special right triangles, you definitely need to have your 45-45s and your 30-60-90s memorized. Maybe next time we'll do a lesson on special right triangles. But you're sure to see a couple of questions about that on the ACT. But you'll sit there and look at it and waste way too much time if you don't have it memorized. Okay, but if you have it memorized, they go pretty quickly. Okay, let's look at 28. Here we have a parabola. Okay, We have, they tell us it's in this form, the solutions for X.
What is that
Okay,
called? Like
the
a math
solutions to a
analogy?
parabola are what? Anyone know?
Would that be called like a math
Anybody?
analogy?
The solutions are where
Isn't
it
that what that
crosses the
means? I don't know what that
x-axis.
means.
Okay, so whatever the x value is there, that's your solutions to your parabola. Okay, if it crosses like this in two spots, then we have two real solutions, but one's going to be negative and one's going to be positive. So they're not both positive, they're not both negative. Let's see, one positive real solution, one negative real solution. So it's H. Here are the other scenarios. If you have something like there's your coordinate plane and your parabola looks like this, it never crosses the x-axis, so your solutions are not real. Okay, so that's where you would not have your real solutions. Then you could also have where it just touches, and then you have like a double root. Okay, so it's actually one. Okay. All right. So, any questions about parabolas? No. Okay.
I'm waiting until we do the ones that are like to the third power and fourth power and stuff, because those are fun and
Yeah.
algebra.
Yeah.
Pretty simple too.
Okay. What's next? What do you want to do, people?
How about algebra 3?
Okay, let's look
I'm
at
trying to find
the
what
practice
she's talking
test. Oh, look at 37. Okay. What's the difference between the mean and the median of this data set? Okay, that's something that you all should be able to do by hand, but you can do it in the calculator in just a few seconds and save you a lot of time. Because that's the key on the ACT math, is having enough time to get through everything. So last time we talked about how you work this. So on your calculator, you're going to go to Stat. It's going to be in the upper, like on the third row, next to the circular button. So Stat, Edit, and then you have your lists. To clear, if you already have data in your list, you go up where it's like list 1 or list 2 is black, and hit clear. Don't hit delete. Okay, just hit clear and down, and it clears it out. Okay, so now let's put in these numbers. We have 3, 8, 10, and 15. So 3, and then you press down, 8 down, 10 down, 15 down. Okay, so now we have everything in list 1. I'll give you just a second, make sure everyone is caught up. Brittany, are they following
Yes,
online? Okay.
I think so. What was the acronym you were talking about, the dirty hippie thing?
Some old hippie
Some old hippie.
caught another hippie
Okay.
tripping on acid. Some old hippie, SOH, is sine is opposite over hypotenuse. Caught another hippie, CAH, that's cosine is adjacent over hypotenuse. Tripping on acid, TOA, that's tangent is opposite over adjacent. Okay. So back to this problem. We've entered our 4 numbers. We went to Stat, Edit, we cleared our list, and we entered 3, 8, 10, and 15 in list 1. Now you hit Stat again and press over to the right where it says Calc. And we want one variable statistics, which is the first one. We hit Enter. Oh, was that
Bullet. That was bullet. Bullet. It was like a yawn.
Yeah. I was like,
She's like, oh, I'm tired.
What dog makes that sound?
I'm bullet, apparently. Okay, so,
I
yeah,
was-
so we
thought
went
that was
Stat,
my
Calc, one variable statistics. It should be
That
like
was your
flashing on
stomach.
list 1. Go
Thought it
down
was
where
me
says
too. I was like,
calculate.
I don't know what's
And
happening.
hit enter. Okay, the first one is an X with a bar over it. That's your mean. Okay, so our mean is 9. Where are we? Right here. So the mean is 9, and then the median.
Is also known.
Oh, look at that. Yeah, so you scroll down for your median, and it gives you the 5-number summary. There's Q1. Actually, it's min, Q1, median, Q3, max, and so the MED, that's your median. So it's also 9. So the difference between the two is 0. So, again, you should be able to do that by hand. Remember, mean is the average, add them all up, divide by how many there are. The median, put them in order from least to greatest, which they are. Find the